एंड इसी सीरीज में आज हमारे साथ हैं एडवोकेट कार्तिक शाह जी. ही इज फ्रॉम अहमदाबाद. वेलकम सर.
Madam. Thank you so much to all the participants who have spared time to hear me for an important subject. I request if someone is unmuted, please mute yourself. And I am sharing my PowerPoint presentation. So friends, today my topic is taxation of non-resident individuals. Friends, international taxation is a very wide subject, and it differs from case to case. तो इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन में ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई भी कंसिडर्ड एज एन एक्सपर्ट. वी ऑल आर एट द सेम प्लेन, बट इट डिपेंड्स हाउ मच वी नो एज फार एज द पर्टिकुलर केस इज कंसर्न. तो मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि आज हम उसके बेसिक्स को जानने का प्रयत्न करेंगे, और हमारे बेसिक्स अगर क्लियर है तो आपके बहुत सारे सवाल वो सॉल्व हो जाएंगे. विथ दैट, जस्ट सिट बैक, रिलैक्स एंड प्लीज लिसन, एंड इफ यू हैव अ क्वेरी देन वी विल आल्सो एंटरटेन योर क्वेरीज एट द एंड ऑफ द लेक्चर. What is international taxation? So basically, we all know that we have to pay tax, direct tax, on the income we earn. So basically, कोई भी कंट्री हो उसमें डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन अप्लाई होता है, और उस पे एज पर द डिफाइंड रेट्स टैक्स पेयर को टैक्स पे करना पड़ता है. बट व्हेन इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन comes into play, so international taxation comes into play when there is a cross border transaction. Now you will ask me, what is cross border transaction? When resident of one country.
Co-host now. Kartik, you are co-host now. So can you check if
Yeah, just I checked. Can you see the screen?
Yes, just but in normal form, not in slideshow mode.
Just okay. Now it's fine. Is it fine?
I think it will be coming. Right now, for me, it's in the normal form, not in slideshow.
No, I think I have said.
No issue, sir. Please carry on. I will check in 2-3 minutes.
Okay. So, just a second. Okay. So when resident of one country does any transaction with other country or earns any income from that different country, then at that time, the country from where it has earned an income, they will levy the tax on the particular taxpayer or person who is a resident of other country. So when two states involve for levying the tax in particular transaction, then at that time international taxation arise. तो इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन दो तरह से होता है. वो सोर्स बेस होता है और रेसिडेंस बेस होता है। सोर्स बेस का मतलब यह है कि जहां से टैक्स पेयर ने इनकम अर्न की है वो कंट्री उससे टैक्स कलेक्ट करेगा। एंड रेसिडेंस बेस उसको माना जाता है कि जो पर्टिकुलर पर्सन है वो किस कंट्री का सिटीजन है। सो रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस की क्यों इंपॉर्टेंस है? बिकॉज द चार्जेबिलिटी ऑफ टैक्सिंग particular income depends on the residential status of taxpayers. So residential status determines the incidence of taxation. Now, what is incidence of taxation? The incidence of taxation refers to who is liable to pay tax on what portion of income based on their residential status. So it really matters that from where the person has earned an income and the person is the resident of which country. So for determining the tax liability of a particular person, the derivation of its residential status is the first step. And it must be determined with each year. So रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस है वो हर साल टैक्स पेयर का डिटरमिन करना पड़ता है अकॉर्डिंग टू इज रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस। जैसे ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट है, नॉन रेसिडेंट, नॉट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट है, नॉन रेसिडेंट है, उस हिसाब से एवरी ईयर एवरी प्रीवियस ईयर में उसका रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस डिटरमिन होता है और उसके बाद वो जो इनकम अर्न करता है उस पर टैक्स लेवी होता है। सो दिस आर द बेसिक्स of international taxation from where we have started this subject. Now as I have said that कोई भी रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस है वो प्रीवियस ईयर का ईच इंडिविजुअल ईयर में डिटरमिन होता है। Now we need to think about who comes under the purview of taxpayers or person, because here there is no definition of individual, is a definition of person in section 231 of Income Tax Act 1961. So person doesn't include only individual. So what person includes? Person includes an individual, an Hindu undivided family, a company, a firm, an association of persons or a body of individuals, a local authority, and every artificial juridical person not falling within any of the preceding subclauses. So basically पर्सन की डेफिनेशन में सारी एंटिटीज आती है और उन सबको अगर क्रॉस बॉर्डर ट्रांजैक्शन होता है तो जो इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन के प्रोविजंस है वो लागू होते हैं। नाउ वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द सेक्शन 5 ऑफ द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, स्कोप ऑफ टोटल इनकम। So basically, scope of total income for different categories of taxpayers. This section outlines what income is taxable in India based on the residential status. Now we have to understand what kind of three categories of different resident are existing, and according to that, we have to determine the scope of how particular person is taxable and up to what extent. So there are three categories of resident or a person, that is resident and ordinary resident, resident but not ordinary resident, and non-resident. Resident and ordinary resident. So basically all the Indian citizens, they are considered as resident and ordinary resident, and their global income is taxable. This is very important. Please understand, the persons who are Indian citizen, their Indian income is taxable, and not only that, whatever income they earn in the foreign country, that is also taxable in India. But there are provisions of DTAA treaties and how we can avoid the problem of double taxation that we will understand later on. So basically, resident and ordinary resident, his global income is taxable. Income received or deemed to be received in India. So now, what kind of income is taxable? So income received or deemed to be received, accrued or arisen, or deemed to accrue or arise. Received or deemed to receive तो हम समझ गए, but what is accrued? Accrued means income due or earned but not received. जैसे कि इंडिया में सर्टन ईयर्स ऑफ क्यूमुलेटिव एफडी का कंसेप्ट है, जिसमें अगर हमने 5 साल के लिए कोई फिक्स डिपॉजिट रखी है तो उसमें एवरी ईयर हमको इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, पर वो हमको रिसीव नहीं होता है। एट द एंड ऑफ द मैच्योरिटी, जब फिक्स डिपॉजिट का मैच्योर होने का टाइम आता है, तब हमको कैपिटल प्लस इंटरेस्ट वो दोनों साथ में मिलता है। बट एवरी ईयर वो इंटरेस्ट अक्रू होता है, मीन्स इट इज ड्यू एंड it is due as our income. Same way, what is arisen? Means originates or flows from source. May or may not be due. So जो source है, जो income का source है, उसने अपने books of account में हमको income pass on कर दी है. It might be possible that हमने वो receive की है, हमको due हुई है, नहीं हुई है, that is a different thing. But the source has book expenditure and pass on the income. So all these possibilities are considered as income of a taxpayer. Now the second category is resident but not ordinary resident. The same way, in this case, received, deemed to receive, accrued, arisen, deemed to accrue or arise, वो सब आएगा, उस तरह से उसकी income taxable होगी. But the most important thing that we have to consider in resident but not ordinary resident is its foreign income is taxable only if it is derived from a business controlled or profession set up in India. So please understand, resident but not ordinary residents foreign income, if it has no connection with India, it is completely by its connection in foreign country and earn in foreign country, and it has no connection with India, that is not taxable in India. So this is the difference between ordinary resident and not ordinary resident. Ordinary resident, global income is taxable, but in not ordinary resident, foreign income is taxable unless and until its connection is with India. Otherwise, it is not taxable. So this is the major difference between ordinary and not ordinary resident. And the third category is non-resident. Taxable only on income received or deemed to be received in India, accrued, arisen, deemed to accrue or arise in India. So everywhere it is written specifically that in India. So in case of non-resident, if the person has a connection or earning from India, that is only taxable. And its foreign income or income from other country, it's not taxable at all. Now we have to understand the word liable to tax. I request all of you to please go through this Azadi Bachao Andolan. The Honorable Supreme Court has given the verdict, and many concepts of international taxation will be cleared if you read the language of the verdict. So, liable to tax. So, before the insertion of Section 229A by Finance Act 2021, उसमें ऐसा था कि कोई भी कंट्री जिसमें इनकम टैक्स लॉ नहीं है, वो भी अगर इंडिया से कनेक्शन में कोई पर्सन अगर इनकम अर्न करता है तो वो भी टैक्सेबल हो जाता था. बट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ऑल वर्डिक्ट्स, and because of the pattern that has been formed, to break this pattern, Section 229A has been inserted by Finance Act 2021 with effect from 1st April 2021, which specifically defines liable to tax in relation to a person and with reference to a country to mean that there is an income tax liability on such a person under an existing income tax law in force of that country. So सेक्शन 229A ने साफ कर दिया है कि अगर कोई भी कंट्री में अगर पर्सन ने कोई भी इनकम अर्न की है और उसको अगर उस पर टैक्स लेवी करना है तो वो पर्टिकुलर कंट्री में उसका खुद का इनकम टैक्स लॉ एग्जिस्ट होना बहुत जरूरी है. So it has been cleared. So the definition includes a person liable to tax even if he is subsequently exempted from such liability. Now, section 611A, determining of the residential status of individual. In the definition of person, we have seen there are various entities which are liable for tax. But how we can determine the residential status of individual? Let's see that. So section 61/1A defines how to derive the residential status of individual. So strictly, persons residences, individuals residential status will be derived by his physical presence in India. There are conditions. Let's see these conditions. An individual is said to be resident in India in any previous year if he is in India in that year for a period or periods amounting in all to 182 days or more. So this is one of the conditions, that if a person wants to prove himself as a resident in India, he has to stay in India physically for 182 days or more. This is either or condition. So what is the second condition? The second condition is he has to stay more than 60 days in previous year and aggregate of 365 days in 4 years preceding the previous year. So these are either or condition. If an individual by staying physically in India proves either or conditions, then he will be come as a resident in India. Now, there are certain categories of citizens, individual citizens, where the 60 days criteria has been relaxed to 182 days. That is in case of Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. So what is person of Indian origin? So as per section 115C, a person shall be deemed to be of Indian origin if he or either of his parents or any of his grandparents was born in undivided India. So इसमें ऐसा है कि for an individual to become resident in India, those two conditions either or means 182 days, 60 days and 365 days. These are either or conditions are basic. But for certain categories of persons, they have relaxed the criteria of 60 days to 182 days and 120 days. In which case 182 days? If the person of Indian origin and he has not earned more than 15 lakh rupees in a previous year in India. So in that case, 60 days criteria will be relaxed to 182 days. And the other person is who leaves India for the purpose of employment. So if a person is going to foreign country for taking up job, then in that case, and that purpose of employment includes self-employment. Means if a person is going for taking up job or for starting a business or profession, in all these cases, and person of Indian origin, in all these cases, 60 days criteria will be relaxed to 182 days. But condition is his income from India does not exceed 15 lakh rupees in a previous year. And there is another criteria is if he is a member of crew of an Indian ship. Why I am telling you that this is the relaxation? I will tell you the logic later. Now, this 60 days criteria will be relaxed to 120 days when all the things are same, but when the person earns more than 15 lakh rupees in a previous year. So you will ask me, आप मुझे पूछेंगे ये criteria क्यों relax किए गए? So basically I told you that in case of ordinary resident, global income is taxable. So if this relaxation is given only because if a person is staying at abroad for particular job or profession or business, and he is not more so in a way वो रेसिडेंट के क्राइटेरिया में अगर आ गया तो उसकी ग्लोबल इनकम टैक्सेबल हो जाएगी, इसीलिए ये रिलैक्सेशन उसको मिला हुआ है. सो दैट इज द लॉजिक. नाउ एक कंसेप्ट लेकर आए हैं, दैट इज डीम रेसिडेंस. दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. तो उसके पहले हम ये समझ लेंगे कि फिजिकल प्रेजेंस का मतलब क्या होता है. So the physical presence for this purpose is not required to be continuous. So ये जो criteria है staying in India for particular days, वो continuous नहीं हो तो चलता है, as long as the person is staying in India, those days will be counted, and for that stamp of the passport will be the valid proof. The day of arrival and departure are included in counting the days of presence in India. इसमें एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, जैसे आज 4 जून है. 4 जून को कोई पर्सन रात को 11 बजे और 55 मिनट को भी अगर इंडिया में उसका पासपोर्ट पर स्टैंप लगता है तो 4 जून विल बी काउंटेड एज ही स्टे इन इंडिया. दैट विल बी काउंटेड, दैट डे विल बी काउंटेड. Now, let's understand the concept of deemed residence. Now, the Finance Act has brought this interesting concept, that is of deemed residence. उसमें ऐसा है कि अगर कोई इंडियन सिटीजन है, वो सिटीजनशिप तो इंडिया की रखता है, पर वो कोई ऐसी कंट्री में काम करता है या रहता है जहां पे देयर इज नो income tax law, but that person has also connection with India, though he is not staying in India, but he is a resident of India, but he is not staying in India, but he is earning more than 15 lakh income from India. Then in that case he will be considered as deemed resident, and for that income which he has earned from India, he will be leviable to tax. But his category will be considered as not ordinary resident category, and same way उसकी जो फॉरेन सोर्स की इनकम है, जिसका इंडिया के साथ कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है, उस पे उसको टैक्स नहीं भरना पड़ेगा. नाउ इफ कोई नॉन रेसिडेंट है, उसकी कैटेगरी अगर रेसिडेंट में कन्वर्ट होती है, तो वो नॉन रेसिडेंट कैसे ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट और नॉट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट माना जाएगा. तो उसके लिए एक क्राइटेरिया है. अगर कोई नॉन रेसिडेंट है, उसकी जो कैटेगरी है वो रेसिडेंट में कन्वर्ट होती है, तो वो अगर पिछले 10 सालों में से 9 साल तक वो नॉन रेसिडेंट रहा है, या फिर वो पिछले 7 सालों में 729 डेज या उससे लेस इंडिया में रहा है, तो उसकी कैटेगरी नॉन रेसिडेंट में से पहले नॉट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट में कन्वर्ट होगी. आई होप आई एम क्लियर. एंड नाउ द लास्ट कैटेगरी, नॉन रेसिडेंट. The person, an individual is treated as non-resident in India if he does not satisfy any of the conditions of being the resident. तो resident के लिए जो भी conditions है, अगर वो आप fulfill नहीं करते हो, means staying less than 60 days in a previous year or stayed 60 days or more, but less than 182 days, and in 4 years less than 365 days, then you will be termed as non-resident. तो हमने इधर एन इंडिविजुअल्स का जो क्राइटेरिया है जिसपे उसका टैक्स.
कार्तिक जी, सॉरी टू डिस्टर्ब, ये स्लाइड्स अभी चेंज नहीं किए हैं क्या? वी आर सीइंग द थर्ड नंबर स्लाइड.
नहीं कर दिया ना?
यहाँ व्यू नहीं हो रहा. एक बार या तो स्क्रीन रीशेयर कर दीजिए आपका.
जस्ट is it okay?
Yes, now 13 number non-resident we are seeing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if the person is not fulfilling the criteria of resident, he will be termed as non-resident. Now we have seen the criteria of how the residency will be determined in the case of individual. Now there are other entities that we have discussed in the definition of person. So how in Hindu undivided family, partnership firm or other association of person, the resident criteria will be satisfied. In that case, if any income has been earned by these entities, then it should be seen that control and management of its affairs must be situated wholly in India. So, अगर ये entities कोई income earn करती है जिसका control and management इंडिया से है, तो उसकी जो इनकम है उस पे टैक्स लेवी होगा. जस्ट अ सेकंड. Just a second.
Sure. Slideshow is not started.
No, I have shared.
The screen is visible, but not in the slideshow mode.
I have done the slideshow. I think it's fine. It's fine. I'll share my PPT.
Okay.
So in case of company, how we can say that it's resident in India? So there are two conditions. First is it must be an Indian company, or its place of effective management, यानी कि POEM, is in India. Now, friends, it is very important concept that has been brought in assessment year 18-19 and with effect from 1/4/17. Actually, it has been brought in Finance Act 2015, but it has been deferred for certain years, and then finally it becomes effective from 1/4/2017. So in case of companies, the first is Indian company, that is resident, it is very obvious. And for foreign companies or for other entity, other companies, we need to see the second criteria is place of effective management. that should be in India for levying the tax. Before that, before poem, there was a word control and management. तो उसका बहुत ही मिसयूज होता था. जैसे कंपनीज क्या करती थी, आउट ऑफ इंडिया मीटिंग्स करके जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन है, पॉलिसी डिसीजन है, जैसे मैनेजमेंट डिसीजन है, वो सब आउट ऑफ इंडिया मीटिंग करके वो लोग डिसाइड करते थे. एंड दे वांट टू शो दैट इट हैज नो कनेक्शन विद इंडिया. सो the income whatever they have earned is not liable for the tax. So to curb these practices, the concept place of effective management, yani ki poem, that has been brought. But before that, before we discuss the poem, let's understand the determining of residential status as per the treaties, that is टाई ब्रेकर ट्रेड. तो जैसे ट्रीटीज होती है, डबल टैक्स अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट जो हम आगे समझेंगे, तो उसमें रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस कैसे डिटरमिन होता है. तो देयर आर फ्यू क्राइटेरियाज इन टाई ब्रेकर टेस्ट. द फर्स्ट इज परमानेंट होम टेस्ट. तो अगर कोई भी टैक्स पेयर उसका परमानेंट होम जहां पे है, तो वो उसका रेसिडेंट कंट्री माना जाएगा. या फिर सेंटर ऑफ वाइटल इंटरेस्ट, इफ ही हैज अ परमानेंट होम इन अ डिफरेंट इन बोथ द जुरिस्डिक्शन, बट उसका जो भी पर्सनल एंड इकोनॉमिक रिलेशंस कहां पे ज्यादा एग्जिस्ट करता है, दैट इज सेंटर ऑफ वाइटल इंटरेस्ट, देन दैट क्राइटेरिया विल बी टेकन अप फॉर द डिटरमिनिंग द रेसिडेंसी. द थर्ड वन इज हैबिचुअल अबोर्ड. दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. अगर बोथ द जुरिस्डिक्शन में परमानेंट होम भी है या फिर सेंटर ऑफ वाइटल इंटरेस्ट भी है, बट हैबिचुअल अबोर्ड का मतलब है प्लेस वेयर दे रेगुलरली लिव. तो पर्सन जहां पे रेगुलरली एग्जिस्ट करता है, भले ही वो अलग जगह से काम करता है, पर जहां पे वो एग्जिस्ट करता है, तो वो हैबिचुअल अबोर्ड टेस्ट के हिसाब से उसकी रेसिडेंसी तय की जाएगी. या फिर फोर्थ है नेशनलिटी टेस्ट. इफ द पर्सन इज अ नेशनल ऑफ पर्टिकुलर कंट्री और जुरिस्डिक्शन, उस हिसाब से उसकी रेसिडेंसी. एंड द फाइनल इज इफ ही इज अ नेशनल ऑफ बोथ or neither jurisdiction, the jurisdiction as mutually agreed by the competent authorities of both jurisdictions. अगर चार क्राइटेरिया में अगर उसकी रेसिडेंसी फॉल नहीं होती है या देयर इज अ कंफ्यूज स्टेट, देन जहां से उसने इनकम अर्न की है, सोर्स स्टेट, एंड जहां से वो बिलोंग करता है, रेसिडेंट स्टेट, दे बोथ डिस्कस एंड दे डिटरमिन द रेसिडेंसी ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर पर्सन. सो व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस, ये जो है वो जैसे डबल टैक्स अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट होता है या ट्रीटीज होता है, उसमें कैसे पर्सन की रेसिडेंसी डिटरमिन करनी है, वो इस हिसाब से तय करते हैं. जनरली क्या होता है, व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस अर्लियर इज, जनरली टैक्स पेयर की रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस उसके डोमेस्टिक लॉ में दिए गए प्रोविजन से तय होती है. हमने इंडिया के इंडियन इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में दिए गए प्रोविजन के हिसाब से आई हैव डिस्कस दैट हाउ अ पर्सन कैन बी ट्रीटेड एज रेसिडेंट, नॉट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट और नॉन रेसिडेंट. बट दिस इज द कॉमन टेस्ट टेकन अप बाय एनी ट्रीटीज और DTAA टू डिटरमिन द रेसिडेंसी ऑफ पर्टिकुलर टैक्स पेयर. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम कंट्रीज जो अपना टैक्स लॉ होता है, डोमेस्टिक टैक्स लॉ होता है, उसमें जो रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस डिटरमिन करने का क्राइटेरिया है उसको ही फॉलो करती है, एंड उस हिसाब से ही वो टैक्स लेवी करती है. बट समटाइम्स इट हैपन्स दैट इन सम कंट्रीज देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजन रिटन इन द डोमेस्टिक टैक्सेशन लॉ दैट इफ एनी कंफ्यूजन अराइजेस as far as the determination of residential status of a taxpayer, then taxpayer with particular country, then at that time if any treaty exists, then as per the treaty we have to determine the residential status. अगर ये डोमेस्टिक टैक्सेशन लॉ में स्पेसिफिकली लिखा गया है, then we have to adopt all these tests and determine the residential status of taxpayer. I hope I am clear. and there is a concept of split residency. Now, what is split residency? So basically, a person.
कार्तिक जी, सॉरी टू डिस्टर्ब अगेन सर, स्लाइड्स मूव नहीं हो रही हैं.
मैडम, डू वन थिंग, बिकॉज अगर अभी पढ़ तो नहीं पाएंगे कोई, आई विल कैरी विथ माय लेक्चर एंड आई विल शेयर द पीपीटी, यू कैन शेयर विथ द पार्टिसिपेंट्स.
दैट वी कैन डू.
Yeah.
नेक्स्ट.
So I request, I am sorry that you cannot see the PowerPoint presentation, but if you listen to me, then that would be much better and you will be focused also. With that, what is split residency? Split residency का मतलब ये है that for a particular part in a previous year, the person has a different residency status, and for other part, he is a different residency status. Means some part he will be treated as resident and some part he will be treated as non-resident. So that is not possible, and that is not possible in India. In India, it has been specifically stated that for a particular previous year, the person's residential status will remain same for the entire year. So the concept of split residency is not existing in India. There are judicial precedents on the residential status. When I share my PPT, you will get to read this. These all judicial precedents derives something which is very important as far as the concept building is concerned. So I'll tell you in a nutshell that I have discussed that employment includes self-employment, means not only salary purpose, but if the person is going abroad, if he is doing any business or profession, it will be also counted for the relaxation of days. But the visit, the foreign visit of a person will not include any visiting any country for as a tourist or medical treatment or for studies. That will not include in the employment criteria. The criteria will also be determined by the type of visa the person will be issued. Then it doesn't means in case of HUF, all the management, all the decision will be taken up by Karta, but it is not always correct. If in the absence of Karta, if any member takes any management decision, it will also be valid and the income will be taxable. Then the most important thing that has been derived by the judicial precedent is the burden of proving his residential status is on the taxpayer. The taxpayer has to prove the residential status. So it is very important for the person while filing his return of income that he derive the correct residential status, and accordingly he offered his income for particular taxation as per his residential status, because if he is wrong in determining his residential status, then he might have to pay more tax or penalty or any interest, because the burden is on the taxpayer. But obviously he will be given opportunity of being heard that why he has determined the particular residential status.
Sir, we can try one thing, that you have shared your PPT with me. So I will share screen from my side.
Sure. Perfectly fine.
Can we try this?
I'll stop sharing. Yeah.
Okay. Because that will be more helpful if we can.
Yeah.
Slides are visible, right?
Yeah.
And is it in slideshow mode, or I think now in slideshow mode?
Yeah. Can you go down?
Just let me know for which slide. Right?
Yeah, sure. I will say next. Okay.
This one?
No. Down.
Next?
Yeah, next. Next. Yes. Stay.
Okay. 29 number. CBDT
Yeah.
circular.
Yes.
Okay. Is this visible to everyone? Like CBDT circular we are on this slide. So I think now it will be helpful.
Should I continue?
Yes, please carry on, sir. Thank you.
So, as I said that for determining the residency status of company, there are either or condition. It is Indian company or the POEM, place of effective management, that I have told you why they have brought this concept. It has been brought in finance Act 2015, but it has been deferred, and then finally it has been implemented in from 1st April 2017. So now let's understand the definition of POEM. Place of effective management is defined in the Act to mean a place where key management and commercial decisions that are necessary for the conduct of the business of an entity as a whole are in substance made. So पहले क्या था? पहले सिर्फ ऐसा वर्ड था कंट्रोल एंड मैनेजमेंट. सो उसमें बाहर मीटिंग होती थी, बड़े बड़े डिसीजन लिए जाते थे, एंड देन दे कम बैक एंड दे डू नॉट ऑफर देयर इनकम कंपनीज. नाउ दे हैव ब्रॉट पोएम मींस management and commercial decisions that are necessary for the conduct of the business. So पूरे एंटायर प्रीवियस ईयर में एक डिसीजन से पूरे साल की इनकम तय नहीं हो सकती. तो दे स्पेसिफिकली ब्रॉट दिस कंसेप्ट दैट पूरे साल में जो भी इनकम जनरेट होती है उसके लिए सीरीज ऑफ डिसीजन लगते हैं. वो इनकम अर्न करने के लिए सीरीज ऑफ डिसीजन लगते हैं, और वो सीरीज ऑफ डिसीजन मैनेजमेंट के बहुत सारे लोग इकट्ठे होके लेते हैं. तो दैट्स वाई आपका जो भी डिसीजन मेकिंग है वो पूरे साल का देखा जाएगा, और उस हिसाब से मेजोरिटी आप जहां पे रह के ये सारे डिसीजन लेते हैं उस जुरिस्डिक्शन में आपको आपकी इनकम ऑफर करनी पड़ेगी. सो दिस इज एन इंटरेस्टिंग कंसेप्ट दे हैव ब्रॉट. नेक्स्ट. Now again some court rulings. Next, that we have discussed point number 33, residence under the Act versus tax treaties. That I have told you that how the residence under domestic taxation or tax treaties will be determined. But in some countries, if it is written like Canada and United Kingdom, they have provided specifically in their domestic law that where a person is resident of another state for the purpose of tax treaty, the person will be regarded as non-resident for the purpose. तो अगर टैक्स ट्रीटी में ऐसा लिखा है, यूके और कनाडा ऐसा कहता है डोमेस्टिक टैक्स लॉ में कि अगर टैक्स ट्रीटी में वो दूसरे कंट्री का रेसिडेंट माना जाता है तो he will be treated as non-resident for that particular countries. Next. Now friends, here we come to an end as far as the residential status is concerned. Now we will discuss income tax provisions which are applicable to particularly non-residents. So I have given the table where the section and subject and brief discussion is mentioned. जैसे सेक्शन 5 वो स्कोप ऑफ टोटल इनकम डिफाइन करता है, दैट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड. 6 फॉर रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस, 9 फॉर इनकम डीम्ड टू अक्रू. सेक्शन 90 दैट इज फॉर रिलीफ अंडर डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट. तो सेक्शन 90 एंड 90A. सो बेसिकली एज आई सेड दैट रेसिडेंट, ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट ग्लोबल इनकम इज टैक्सेबल. तो अगर उसने कोई भी इनकम फॉरेन में कमाई है तो उसमें उसने फॉरेन में टैक्स भरा होगा. तो एज पर द ट्रीटी इंडिया ने 90 कंट्रीज के साथ डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट फॉर्म किए हैं. सो हम आगे जानेंगे ट्रीटी का मेन यूज क्या है, बट बेसिकली बिकॉज ऑफ द ट्रीटी उसको डबल टैक्सेशन नहीं लगे, इसके लिए सेक्शन 90 और 90A में अगर उसने फॉरेन की कोई इनकम कमाई है और उसमें टैक्स भरा है तो he has to show this foreign income in return of income as per the for the disclosure aspect, but he has to ask for the relief in section 90. 91 is for unilateral relief. 92F transfer pricing. So there are sections which are applicable to non-residents. Next. So now, which are the incomes for which non-residents has to pay tax in India? So first and foremost is any Indian source income of non-resident is taxable in India. So what kind of income are they? Means first is salary income. If non-resident has earned any salary income from India or from the sources of India, then he is taxable. Then any rental income from property. We all know, as per FEMA, non-resident cannot invest in any agricultural land or any farm haus. Means non-resident है वो अगर इंडिया में कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी में इन्वेस्ट कर सकता है, रेसिडेंशियल, कमर्शियल, बट एज पर फेमा नॉन रेसिडेंट एग्रीकल्चर लैंड नहीं ले सकता है और फार्म हाउस नहीं ले सकता. ठीक है. सो नॉन रेसिडेंट कैन इजीली परचेज कमर्शियल और रेसिडेंशियल प्रॉपर्टी इन इंडिया. तो उसमें से अगर कोई रेंटल इनकम होती है, देन इट इज टैक्सेबल फॉर नॉन रेसिडेंट. इसमें भी सेम क्राइटेरिया लागू पड़ता है. जैसे 2 प्रॉपर्टीज है, वहां तक फ्री है, उसके बाद उसका डीम्ड रेंट माना जाएगा. अगर एक्चुअल रेंट आता है, दैट इज टैक्सेबल, बट इट विल बी सब्जेक्ट टू टीडीएस अंडर सेक्शन 195. तो नॉन रेसिडेंट की जो भी इनकम है वो सब सिमिलर ही है रेसिडेंट की तरह. इट शुड बी इंडियन सोर्स. रेट्स भी सेम है, नॉर्मल रेट से वो टैक्सेबल होता है, बट बेसिकली जो टीडीएस के जो रेट्स है वो डिफरेंट है एंड द सेक्शंस आर डिफरेंट फॉर नॉन रेसिडेंट. नेक्स्ट, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इनकम ऑफ नॉन रेसिडेंट इज कैपिटल गेन. तो कैपिटल गेन फ्रॉम सेल ऑफ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी. अगर वो कोई भी इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी उसके नाम की है या कोई इनहेरिटेंस में उसको मिली हुई है, थ्रू विल मिली हुई है, जो भी है, पर अगर वो सेल करता है तो उस पर उसको टैक्स लेवी होता है, कैपिटल गेन टैक्स. देन सेल ऑफ शेयर्स ऑफ इंडियन कंपनी, लिस्टेड और अनलिस्टेड, दीज आर टैक्सेबल. नाउ as far as non-residents act of selling property in India is concerned, the cost of acquisition includes actual purchase price, expenses include stamp duty, registration fee and brokerage, but it doesn't include recurring expenses like which form part of the purchase price or advance maintenance और आउटस्टैंडिंग प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, वो रेसिडेंट में भी नहीं इंक्लूड होता है. बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, इफ नॉन रेसिडेंट सेल्स एनी प्रॉपर्टी, देन फॉर सेलिंग दैट प्रॉपर्टी, whatever effort, means he has to come to India, he has to incur expenses in the form of air ticket or different expenses for executing that sale agreement. Those expenses will be deducted from the sale price or from the transaction, but it is a subject of litigation. But in case of non-resident, he can claim these expenses as deduction from the transaction, like air ticket expense or whatever expense he incurred to execute the sale agreement. Now, कोई रूटीन रिपेयर और रिनोवेशन एक्सपेंस है या फर्नीचर का कोई रूटीन एक्सपेंस है, वो कॉस्ट ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट में नहीं गिना जाएगा. एंड एनी कॉस्ट ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट इंकर्ड प्रायर टू 1 अप्रैल 2001 इज नॉट बीइंग कंसीडर्ड. जैसे हम सब जानते हैं कि इंडेक्स अभी 1 अप्रैल 2001 से उसका बेसिक माना जाता है, तो उसके पहले कोई भी कॉस्ट ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट उसने किया होगा, दैट विल नॉट फॉर्म पार्ट द कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन. एंड सेक्शन 195 में उसका टीडीएस कटेगा. The purchaser has to furnish the form 15CA and mention the whole transaction about the payments what he has done to non-residents as a part of transaction, and he will require Form 15 CV from chartered accountant, who will determine the tax that has to be paid by the non-resident before remitting his money out of the country. Next, now interest earned on fixed deposits, NRO accounts or loans, these all income of non-resident are taxable, but interest earned from NRE or FCNR account is exempt. Dividends earned from Indian company are taxable for the non-resident. Royalties, fees for technical services. If any foreign company has business connection, permanent establishment or agent in India, and out of that, if foreign company earns any income, he is also taxable as non-resident. That company is also taxable. Foreign income earned and received outside India is not taxable. For that we have already discussed that non-resident will not be taxable in India for their foreign income. Now there is a category of foreign investors is foreign portfolio investors. These investors are regulated by SEBI and they are also liable for taxation in India for earning any income out of their investment in listed equity shares or corporate debt instruments or government securities. So FPIs are also liable to pay tax on their capital gains and interest income. But foreign portfolio investors in India are primarily taxed on capital gain, interest income and dividends. But they are, mind well, please listen to me, they are not allowed any deductions or indexation benefits as far as their calculation of tax is concerned. And they do not get the benefit of basic exemption limit. So three advantages they are not getting. Foreign portfolio investors means they will not get the basic exemption limit, they will not get any kind of deduction, and they will not get the benefit of indexation. They can claim a lower tax from the tax residency certificate by presenting. Next. Now there is a section 115E. There is alternative tax regime where non-resident can opt for alternative special tax regime, and straight away he will be levied special rate on short-term or long-term capital gains. Either non-resident can choose to levy the tax as per the normal rates, or he can also choose for the section 115E special rate in case of capital gains or dividend or interest. But in this case, the income shall be taxed on gross basis without allowing any deduction. So इसमें deduction भी नहीं मिलेगा, expenditure भी नहीं मिलेगा. Straight away they have to pay at the rate 20%. And in case of this is optional regime, but in this case also, in case of capital gains, he can also invest under section 115F in shares of Indian company, debentures of Indian company, deposits of Indian company, security of central government, or saving certificates referred to. Next. 13 point, foreign tax credit. Now friends, what is foreign tax credit? Foreign tax credit allows Indian resident taxpayers to claim credit for taxes paid in a foreign country on income that is also taxable in India. So what I have mentioned in section 90 and 91 that any Indian, so this foreign tax credit is for Indian resident, and you can claim the credit by showing tax residency certificate, and you have to file form 67 to avail the benefit of foreign tax credit. Friends, we are running short of time. Non-resident as usual is subject to assessment, scrutiny, base judgment, and reassessment, transfer pricing, appeals, CIT appeals, tribunal, High Court, Supreme Court. There are also alternative dispute resolution mechanism in case of non-resident, that is DRP, MAP, advanced pricing agreement. Now 17 point, few key areas where documentation should be maintained. Now friends, please listen very carefully. If a person is termed as non-resident, he has to keep certain documents intact, like calculation of number of days of stay in India, his passport copies, all the documents of his foreign assets and transaction. Like if a person is resident right now, but he has got the passed the immigration and now he is going into the foreign country and he will be issued green card. So in that case, after 2 or 3 years, his residential status will be changed. So at that time, he has to keep all the documents intact from this inception. He has applied for the immigration and then the whole story he has to narrate, maybe either of the country at any time. So from the inception and about the application of immigration and issuance of green card, he has to keep all the documents intact because he will require any document anytime. Now friends, I have said that DTAA and treaties are very important, and we have signed, India has signed treaties with 90 countries. So why treaties are important? So let's understand the definition. A treaty is a formal legally binding agreement between two or more countries or international organizations governed by international law. So friends, in case of international, in nutshell, what I suggest, what I want to tell you, in cross-border transaction, there is a possibility of double taxation. Means both the countries will try to levy tax on one particular transaction, and for that, taxpayer is supposed to pay tax to both the countries. For avoiding these practices, the treaties or double taxation avoidance agreement should be signed between countries so that the taxpayer will not levy the tax for 2 times for the same transaction. So this is the basic concept of treaty. Next, there are various models of DTAA, like OECD model, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, UN model, US model, and Indian model. The most famous model is OECD model. There is also case laws regarding treaties. Now, I have said the Azadi Bachao Andolan, that is very important. And it specifically mentions the importance of treaties. And without treaty, the concept of cross-border transaction or international taxation cannot exist. Even judicial world has also said that the treaties have importance, and without treaties, they cannot give proper justice to taxpayers. There are various rulings on treaties. Now, friends, please come on NRO and NRE accounts, FC-NRE account. Before I conclude, I want to discuss at length this concept. There are a lot of confusions about NRO, NRE account, and FC-NRE account, but the most important accounts are NRO and NRE account. For 10 minutes, please listen to me very carefully. Non-resident external account. I will clear all the doubts regarding these accounts, NRO and NRE. So, what is non-resident external account? So, mind well, only non-resident Indians or persons of Indian origin can open and operate an NRE account. So, Indian resident cannot open NRE account, only non-resident can open non-resident external account. The other thing is NRE account is denominated in foreign currency only. So all the transactions happen with NRE account can only be available with can only happen with foreign currency. Once it is deposited, it will be converted in Indian rupees, but it is only for the disclosure aspect. The transaction means deposit will be done in foreign currency, withdrawal will be done in foreign currency, but as far as the disclosure aspect is concerned, that what is the balance, you will be shown in Indian rupees. So this is the most important concept. Only non-resident can open NRE account. It will be reflected in, it will be transacted in foreign currency, and it will be disclosed in Indian rupees. So it is denominated in Indian rupees, but all the transactions that has been done in NRE account is only in foreign currency. In NRE account, monies can be freely and fully repatriated in or outside India. So there is no restriction on repatriation. You can transfer money in or outside India through NRE account, but mind well, again in foreign currency. So basically, what is the purpose of NRE account? So the purpose of NRE account is if any person earns any foreign income. So if he earns, it is natural that अगर वो कोई भी फॉरेन इनकम अर्न करता है तो वो फॉरेन करेंसी में रहेगी, जैसे कि रेंट, डिविडेंड, पेंशन, इंटरेस्ट कोई भी है, तो अगर वो फॉरेन इनकम अर्न करता है तो वो फॉरेन करेंसी में रहेगी और वो फॉरेन करेंसी वो अपनी एनआरई अकाउंट में ही डिपॉजिट कर सकता है. सो इसलिए नॉन रेजिडेंट एक्सटर्नल अकाउंट इज स्पेसिफिकली फॉर डिपोजिशन ऑफ foreign income in foreign currency. Next, this account is subject to exchange rate fluctuation. So as and when वो foreign currency NRE account में डिपॉजिट होगी, उस दिन का जो रिसीविंग बैंक का जो एक्सचेंज रेट होगा उसमें वो इंडियन रुपीज में डिनोमिनेट हो जाएगी. इंटरेस्ट ऑन NRE account is tax free. It is very clear. So one can deposit money into NRE account only via foreign currency remittance or transfer from other NRE FCNR. So without foreign currency, any transaction in NRE account is next to impossible. It is only denominated in Indian rupees. Mind well, it is very clear, right? So NRE account maintained in INR, though it is funded. So what I have said, told is it is completely transacted in foreign currency, but it is denominated in Indian currency. Now, most important thing is transfer from NRE to NRO is possible or not. So transfer from NRE to NRO account is freely allowed. One can transfer any amount from NRE to NRO account without any restrictions. So NRE to NRO, you can do transfer, there is no problem. After explaining NRO account, I will tell you how the non-resident and resident operates these accounts. So you can transfer any amount from NRE to NRO. But once the funds are transferred to NRO account, the conditions which are applicable to NRO account will be applied to those funds. And the full repatriable independence will not remain for those specific funds in NRE account. Now, non-resident ordinary account. It is completely reversed from non-resident external account. A resident account needs to be, so basically, मैंने आपको बताया कि भाई NRE account है, वो अगर कोई फॉरेन इनकम फॉरेन करेंसी में अर्न करता है तो उसको डिपॉजिट करने के लिए NRE अकाउंट है. उसी तरह से अगर कोई रेसिडेंट अगर नॉन रेसिडेंट में कन्वर्ट होता है तो उसका जो ऑर्डिनरी अकाउंट है उसको बैंक अथॉरिटीज को बोल के उसको NRO में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ता है. और कोई नॉन रेसिडेंट या फिर इंडियन रेसिडेंट अगर इंडियन इनकम अर्न करता है, वो आगे आएगा, तो वो इंडियन इनकम जो अर्न करता है वो NRO में डिपॉजिट कर सकता है. So an NRO account can also be opened by non-resident, not like NRE. NRE can only be opened by non-resident. NRO can be opened by resident, which means resident which is converted to non-resident, and non-resident can also open NRO account. So repatriation from the NRO can be done. So what repatriation will be done? So all the income earned in India which has been deposited in NRO account, that will be transferred out of India through repatriation in NRO account up to $1 million for every financial year. So जैसे NRE अकाउंट में कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है, रिपेट्रिएशन में आउट ऑफ इंडिया कोई भी फंड ला सकते हो, बाहर से भी ला सकते हो, उस हिसाब से NRO अकाउंट में देयर इज अ रिस्ट्रिक्शन टू टेक मनी आउट ऑफ इंडिया अप टू $1 million for every financial year. So income earned in India in the form of interest, dividend, rent, etc. can be deposited into this account. As I said, that whatever income earned by non-resident from in India, in Indian rupees, can be deposited in NRO account of non-resident, and that can be taken to other out of India from NRO account up to $1 million. Next. So this account again, exchange rate fluctuation. Interest income earned in NRO account is not tax-free, it is taxable. The reverse, like in NRO, it is maintained in INR, not in foreign currency. NRO account can be opened jointly with Indian resident. This is important. It can be opened jointly with Indian resident. One can send or deposit foreign currency into NRO account, converted into INR, and withdraw foreign currency placed directly from NRO account. Now again, the most important question is transfer of funds from NRO account to NRE account. So one can transfer funds from NRO to NRE, but it is restricted up to $1 million per financial year. And it is subject to submission of necessary documents. What I have said, that any non-resident earns any income from India and then he wants to repatriate those funds out of India, then he has to comply with all the legal requirements of payment of tax like 15CA, 15CB. So the bank will also ask, when you want to shift fund out of India through NRO or NRE, from NRO to NRE, then the bank will also require 15CA, 15CB to repatriate those funds. Now, I think I am clear, and now I want to do the conclusion that if any non-resident earns, please listen to me very carefully. You will get to know everything. Please listen to me. Now, any non-resident earns any income from India, then he has to pay tax. He has to complete the formalities of 15CA, 15CB. He will be deducted tax under section 195. Now, his Indian income will be deposited in NRO account. Now he wants to repatriate. So from NRO to his NRE account, he can transfer up to $1 million. So up to $1 million he has transferred from NRO to NRE, and now the fund has transferred from out of India, and out of India he can withdraw those funds from NRE account in foreign currency. So this is the whole transaction will take place, and how non-resident Indian will show his income in Indian income tax return, and how he can transfer its funds, what he has earned from India to out of India. In the same way, if any Indian resident has earned any foreign income in foreign country, then it will be taxable, because for resident, global income is taxable, and for that, he will earn foreign income in foreign currency. So the foreign currency income will be deposited in NRE account. From NRE account, he can transfer his money, any amount of money to NRO account. And when his money will come to NRO account, he can withdraw that money in Indian rupees in India from NRO account. I hope I can explain you in a better way this whole confusion, and मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं आपको ये कंसेप्ट क्लियर करने में सफल रहूंगा. So this was the concept. Now foreign currency non-resident account. It is a term deposit account and not a savings account. The principal and interest will be repatriable. Then special non-resident rupee account, escrow account. Now it is very important. PPF and saving Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana account. From 1st October 2024, any non-resident will not be allowed any interest. They will be allowed 0% interest in their PPF account, and they will not be allowed to open any public provident fund or Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana account in India for any non-resident. Now, tax residency certificate. This is very important concept. टैक्स मैं बहुत समरी में आपको समझा था. टैक्स रेसिडेंसी सर्टिफिकेट के बिना आप अपनी रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस नहीं प्रूव कर सकते हो. और टैक्स रेसिडेंसी सर्टिफिकेट इज एन ऑफिशियल डॉक्यूमेंट इश्यूड बाय द इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इंडिया टू इंडिविजुअल्स और एंटिटीज प्रूविंग देयर स्टेटस एज अ टैक्स रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक फाइनेंशियल ईयर. सो प्लीज माइंड वेल, टैक्स रेसिडेंसी सर्टिफिकेट वो कोई भी कंट्री का सिटीजन हो उसके लिए बहुत जरूरी है. हर देश टैक्स रेसिडेंसी सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू करता है, वैसे इंडिया भी करता है. बेसिकली टैक्स रेसिडेंसी सर्टिफिकेट TRC is an official document to prove that from which country you are a citizen of. तो TRC वो DTAA का बेनिफिट के लिए, डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइड करने के लिए, आपकी इंडियन टैक्स रेसिडेंसी प्रूव करने के लिए, एंड विदहोल्डिंग योर टैक्स डिडक्शन, इट इज यूजफुल. सो कोई रेसिडेंट टैक्स पेयर है, उसको अगर TRC के लिए अप्लाई करना है तो फॉर्म 10FA में वो अप्लाई करेगा और उसको फॉर्म 10FB में टैक्स रेसिडेंसी सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा. और अगर कोई नॉन रेसिडेंट है उसको सेक्शन 90 में रिलीफ लेना है तो उसके कंट्री का जो TRC है उसके अलावा उसको फॉर्म 10F सबमिट करना पड़ेगा फॉर नॉन रेसिडेंट. फॉर इंडियन रेसिडेंट अप्लाई इन 10FA एंड रिसीव इन 10FB. Now, friends, now the whole world has become united as far as the leakage of taxation is concerned, and all the wrong practices to avoid taxation is concerned. So the whole world is becoming united and fight for the wrong practices. So for that, different countries have signed the agreement to exchange the information of their citizens, of their investments in different countries, of their generation of income, of their bank accounts, all the financial details in different countries to particular countries. So under that FATCA, Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, it is a US law. Under that, US government has agreed to share with India all the details of Indian residents and their investment in US, and it's vice versa. In the same way, automatic exchange of information, then double taxation avoidance agreement. Many G20 and other summits happen, and in that all the different agreements get signed, and according to those agreements, they exchange information of respective citizens of different countries. Then tax information exchange agreements, other bilateral and multilateral agreements. Now, friends, disclosure and source of foreign assets. This is not for non-resident. This is for Indian resident. Since AY 1213, the concept of disclosure of foreign assets has been brought into picture through Black Money Act. And accordingly, CBDT has formed Foreign Asset Investigation Unit, FAIUs, in 14 directorate. And this is disclosure of foreign assets specifically for Indian residents who have investments or income or accounts in foreign countries. So since AY 1213, if you are earning any income, if you have investment, if your accounts, bank accounts in foreign countries, you must disclose in filing your income tax return. And if you do not disclose, then there is a penalty under Section 10 of the Black Money Act, and it is amounting to 10 lakh rupees. So all investment like unlisted equity shares, if your directorship, global assets, foreign source income, even exempt income, you have to disclose all the resident of India. Foreign bank accounts, financial interest in foreign entities, immovable property in foreign countries, foreign securities, other capital assets, all you have to disclose if you are having any kind of these assets in foreign countries. If you have income, you have also to disclose in your ITR, salary, rental, interest, dividend, capital, business income. And there is a particular schedule FA. In that you have to disclose all these things. There is, I have mentioned the Schedule FA, where there are different criteria to disclose your foreign assets in different forms. So you have to read these criteria. I have mentioned in my PPT. You can look at it, and accordingly you have to inquire from your clients. And it is not like that if you have not earned any income in previous year, but still you are having any investment, income, or assets in foreign countries, then also you have to file the return and disclose in Schedule FA. So you cannot escape by saying that I have not earned any Indian income, and so that I am not liable to file any ITR, and so I have not disclosed. No, that is not permissible. If you are having any, if you do not have any income, but if you are having these investments in foreign countries, you must file return and disclose everything in Schedule FA. So friends, this is only disclosure. Means Income Tax Department will not ask any source of those assets or investment, how you have derived or how you have purchased these assets. They will not ask for the source, but they, if you just mention in Schedule FA, that will suffice the purpose. So these are all schedules of Schedule FA. Please do not underestimate the Black Money Act, and departments through ED. They are taking stringent steps to curb these kind of taxpayers who are not showing their foreign assets or foreign income. And I have said that section 42 or 43 में 10 लाख का प्रावधान है, 10 लाख कम नहीं होता है, and there is a provision of imprisonment up to 7 years. Slight relaxation is if your aggregate of value of such asset or assets does not exceed 20 lakh rupees, then in this case the penalty is not applicable. However, you are advised to show even if the value of asset does not exceed 20 lakh rupees. So there is a compulsion of showing assets, but if the value of asset does not exceed 20 lakh rupees, then the penalty of 10 lakh will not be applicable. So friends, with this, I conclude my session. और मैं आशा रखता हूं कि इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन में मैंने आपको अच्छी तरह से समझाने का प्रयत्न किया. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Let me just stop sharing first. Yes. Thank you, sir, for detailed deliberation on this non-residential aspect for income tax taxation purpose. If anyone have any question, we can take. Either you can post it in the chat box or can raise hand to directly ask. We can take one or two questions. And PPT, sir, have already shared with me, so I will share it with everyone. I have given a feedback link in the chat box. So kindly submit that feedback form also, because this is for our help. Ki in future, how do you see what we should bring for you guys, and the email or the mobile number in the feedback form, we will use that for sending the PPTs to you. Prateek ji, thank you for appreciation. He is saying good session, sir. Kindly share your number also. Okay. Okay, Prateek ji, we will get the number also. Ankita Bansal ji ka question hai, sir. Please explain the difference in scope of taxability of income
Yes,
for
I just
RNOR and NR with example.
just madam's question. So please understand. First, understand the taxability of non-resident. In case of non-resident, only income from India or from connection of India of non-resident will be taxable. So for non-resident, only its Indian income is taxable. Its foreign income, there is no scope to think about it. But in case of resident, but not ordinary resident, there is a thin line of difference. Its Indian income is taxable and its foreign income is taxable only if it is in connection with India. But its foreign income, which has no connection with India, will not be taxable. So this is the scope of taxability of resident but not ordinary resident. So मैडम ने नॉन रेसिडेंट की जगह मुझे ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट का पूछना चाहिए था, क्योंकि उसमें ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट में एवरीथिंग इज टैक्सेबल. उसमें आपकी फॉरेन इनकम है, इंडियन इनकम है, देयर इज नो डिफरेंस, एवरीथिंग इज टैक्सेबल. फॉर फॉरेन इनकम यू हैव टू टेक द हेल्प ऑफ रिबेट सेक्शन 90 and take the relief. Otherwise everything is taxable for ordinary resident. Not ordinary resident में उसकी foreign income taxable नहीं है.
I hope Ankita ji, your question is very well answered by sir.
Sir, Ankita this side.
Yes.
Like you said that for RNOR, his foreign income which has relation with India is taxable, and for non-resident that is not taxable. Can you give an example of this income? I mean, I'm trying to understand what is the difference in this income.
Means it depends on case to case, madam. I cannot give you example. I can explain you the concept. Means you have to see the residential status of a person. First, you have to derive that he is resident but not ordinary resident. For that, he should be a non-resident and then converted, and then you have to take the case of 9 or 10 and 729 days criteria. So once he becomes a non-resident but not ordinary resident, then you have to see its earning of income, Indian income, foreign income, and there is any connection, and then you have to derive. So it's a long procedure. But I think if you understand the concept, you can derive the conclusion.
Okay.
Any other question? Karthik sir, I have one query. Like you mentioned, कि non-resident can buy any residential or commercial property.
Yeah.
Is there any amount limit also that up to or beyond that amount, any
There is no
permission is
limitation of
required from
amount.
RBI or?
No. There is only limitation is repatriation in case of NRO from NRO 1 million USD. There is no any restriction as far as the buying of property is concerned. But as per FEMA, you cannot buy agricultural land and farmhouse in India.
And another like section 115E is there for special regime for NRIs.
Yeah, that I have said you in nutshell.
So taxation part is there. So is there any change for TDS provision also for under 195? Like if the non-resident
no-
is going to opt for 115E, then any
No,
other
no.
TDS rate?
There is no any change. It's an alternative regime for levy of the taxation. But once the taxation is levied, the section 195 will be attracted and you have to deduct tax as per section 195. And then you have to file return and take the refund if it is becoming, or you have to pay tax.
So thank you so much, sir. And there is no other questions. So it means ki all questions are answered. And thank
I
you,
think it's over
Preeti,
time.
for your
And
appreciation.
yeah,
Dhirendra ji, please fill the feedback form because see, messages we share a large number over the WhatsApp. So it won't be possible for us to share the PPT just randomly on each and every WhatsApp group. So that's why this feedback form will be used for this purpose also. So that we can share with the actual attendees of our, they can get the PPTs. So with this, thank you so much, Karthik sir, for your time and your wonderful deliberation. Thanks
thank
to
you so
each
much
of the
to all the
participants.
participants. Thank you so much to all the participants and the wonderful university by GWCCA for knowledge sharing platform and all of you who have given time to listen to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks to each of the participants for your time and that you attended this webinar. And thanks a lot. And we are sure that we will definitely come up with another wonderful session in the coming time. And you will be again joining us. So
Sure.
with this, do take care of yourself.
Same to you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.